Well, welcome. We're going to start our service now with a prelude for ingathering. So please join us since you're muted in singing this happy hymn.
We give thanks for this blessed day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this blessed day. Oh, we give thanks for this blessed day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this blessed day. Yeah, we give thanks for this blessed day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this blessed day. Oh, we give thanks for this blessed day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this blessed day. Yeah, we give thanks, yeah, for this blessed day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this blessed day. 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 Oh, we give thanks for this blessed day.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to worship. It is so good to see the familiar faces and new faces on our screen. We're glad that this can be a place for solace and hope for people from near and far. My name is Haley Owens, and I'm honored to serve as lay worship weaver this morning, along with our tech people, Sean Scally and Joanna Hickman, who are working behind the scenes for us. Our leader for Joys and Sorrows today is Christine Gresser, and she's been putting the link in the chat box for submitting Joys and Sorrows, but she'll probably do it again. Reverend Leia and Reverend Linda are leading our worship this morning. And now I'm inviting our board member, Jem Gorham, to greet us all.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am so grateful for the chance to be on your board of trustees. I want to offer my welcome to all who are joining us for worship this morning, particularly those for whom this might be your first time joining us, or maybe your first time zooming in. I've been coming to this congregation since 2015 and have been a member for about 3 years. I am the newest member of the board, serving an at-large position since this summer. What I most love about the congregation is the welcoming atmosphere, the warmth, the mutual support and love that permeates all that we do. I've enjoyed many, many things in the past 5 years, including teaching RE, serving on the personnel committee, and participating wholeheartedly on the stewardship team and working to move us to a fiscally sound basis. I'm actually looking forward to this year's pledge drive. I encourage anyone to reach out to me with any concerns, and I will listen and certainly do my very best to help. I'll be sticking around after the service and would look forward to talking with anybody that wants to talk with me. Thanks.
Thank you, Jim. So now I'm going to share a couple announcements. There are several ways that we're going to be celebrating the holiday season at church this year with COVID safety precautions in place. And so we're asking you to look at the weekly church emails and visit the church website to learn more about the outdoor events planned, which include wreath making, decorating the outdoor church Christmas tree, a holiday card drive, and the giving tree, and more. So some activities will require RSVPs, so be sure to look carefully at that information. And the other announcement is that we encourage you to contact Sean about updating your information with the church or learning how to use our church's database management program called Breeze, or really any kind of computer support that you might need during COVID times. It could be as simple as help with putting your profile picture up on Breeze or figuring out what's new with the Zoom update. Sean is happy to help, and you can contact him directly at sean@ucharlottesville.org. So with that, I want to invite you to put your greetings and where you are Zooming from in our chat box. It was a wonderful conversation that we had before the church service started, and now I invite you to join us after for our coffee hour, social hour. It will be on the same Zoom link. So we especially invite newcomers to linger after the service to talk with the minister or with someone from our our membership team. Or you can also join in one of the breakout rooms to just meet with a smaller group of folks. We're having a special breakout room this morning for the website and communications, the website team and communications committee. So they're inviting anyone who's interested in the church's digital media efforts to join them immediately following this service. And with all of those different announcements and things, I'm going to offer this invitation to worship as we begin our service. We have sat at many welcome tables. Lest we forget, we have one too. It's more abundant than we know. May we this day and every day widen our spirit of welcome and invite those who tend the fires, bake the bread, and nurture others to come sit at this table so that we may all grow in understanding, generosity, equity, and love. Welcome, welcome all. Let us join now in our opening hymn, number 67 from our hymnal. We sing now together. This hymn is one of our traditional Thanksgiving songs. And as you sing along, wherever you are this morning, I invite you to pay particular attention to the words of this hymn. Which verses particularly call out to you? What speaks to where you are in your life and where we are as a people around the world? Which verses help you feel connected, not only to the past, but also give you hope for the future? Let us sing this beautiful hymn now.
We sing now together our song of thanksgiving, rejoicing in goods which the ages have brought, for life that unfolds us and helps and heals and holds us and leads beyond the goals which our forebears once sought. We sing of the freedoms which martyrs and heroes have won by their labor and their sorrow, their pain, the oppressed befriending, our ampler hopes defending. Their death becomes a triumph, they died not in vain. We sing of the prophets, the teachers, the dreamers, designers, creators, and workers and seers, our own lives expanding, our gratitude commanding. Their deeds have made immortal their days and their years. We sing of community now in the making, in every far continent, region, and land, with those of all races, all times and names and places, we pledge ourselves in covenant firmly to stand. We pledge ourselves in covenant firmly to stand. To stand. Firmly to stand.
I'm Sandy Brooks.
And I'm Bernie Davis. We have been coming to this church for about 16 years. And what we love about this, being part of this community, is
Opportunities for spiritual growth, working together for social justice, and the dear friends we've made along the way.
we gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving hearts. Our congregation's chalice has been lit and will have its separate screen throughout the service. So if you have a chalice at home, won't you light it now?
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
Fry Bread, a Native American family story. Written by Kevin Noble Maillard, illustrated by Juana Martinez Neal. Fry bread is food. Flour, salt, water, cornmeal, baking powder, perhaps milk, maybe sugar. All mixed together in a big bowl. Fry bread is shape. Hands mold the dough, flat like a pancake, round like a ball, or puffy like Nana's softest pillow. Fry bread is sound. The skillet clangs on the stove. The fire blazes from below. Drop the dough in the skillet. The bubbles sizzle and pop. Fry bread is color. Golden brown, tan, or yellow. Deep like coffee, sienna, or earth. Light like snow and cream. Warm like rays of sun. Fry bread is flavor. See beans or soup. Smell tacos, cheese, and vegetables. Delight in honey and jam. Rise to discover what brings us together. Fry bread is time. On weekdays and holidays, supper or dinner, powwows and festivals, moments together with family and friends. Fry bread is art. Sculpture, landscape, portrait, our daily craft, shared from teacher to student, a cycle of heritage and fortune. Fry bread is history, the long walk, the stolen land, strangers in our world. With unknown food, we made new recipes from what we had. Fry bread is place. Alaska, Kansas, all the way to Maine, down to Delaware, on to Georgia, over to Oklahoma, Colorado, and California. Cities and lands we call home. Fry bread is nation. Abnaki, Apache, Arapaho, Ojibwa, Onondaga, Oglala Sioux, Narragansett, Navajo, Nipmuc, Seminole, Shoshone, Sac and Fox. Hundreds and hundreds of tribes. Fry bread is everything. Round, flat, large, small. North, south, east, west. Brown, yellow, black, white. Familiar and foreign. Old and new. We come together. Fry bread is us. We are still here. Elder and young, friend and neighbor. We strengthen each other to learn, change, and survive. Fry bread is you.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be loved. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be bold. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be loved. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease.
year, on the Sunday before Thanksgiving, we celebrate what we call in our congregation our multi-bread communion. This practice is based on a story that comes from many places, a story recounted by many different voices. Some of us heard it for the first time years ago at the Unitarian Universalist General Assembly. It was in a worship service facilitated by the Unitarian Universalist Council for Cross-Cultural Engagement. It is a story often told when people are moved by the promise of the welcome table. So moved, they decide they want to recreate the welcome table in their own communities. Of course, their intentions are good. They want nothing more than to share the blessings of community, of common unity, around one table abundantly set.
Yeah, so the story is that the pastor of a church in that town went to a meeting of her town's interfaith clergy group, extremely excited about pulling together an all-town, truly interfaith communion service as a way of celebrating Thanksgiving. Instead of being in any of the faith community sanctuaries, they could set up tables and chairs in the town park, renting a big table to cover them all. She'd even arranged for a local baker to donate loaves of their famous crusty white bread.
Other people at the clergy gathering were also excited by this idea, and they started to plan it. But one person eventually spoke up somewhat hesitantly. They said, "In the community I serve, we don't eat much white bread. We eat tortillas." And someone else then said, "Well, my community's special bread is actually rice cakes." Soon the conversation among those gathered was buzzing with the names of all kinds of delicious breadstuffs, each of which was deeply meaningful to someone there and to the communities they served.
Well, on that Sunday before Thanksgiving, instead of going to their usual houses of worship, the people of the town went to the designated park, where there was indeed a big tent. And inside the tent, there were tables and chairs set up. And on those tables was every kind of bread and cracker they could find. And each person felt welcomed and included. And everyone was able to get a taste of the unfamiliar as well.
We too usually celebrate this day in our beautiful sanctuary with our own table laden with every kind of bread and cracker we can find. If we were together in person this morning, each of us would be invited to come forward and take part in this Thanksgiving communion, this multi-bread communion.
But this year, we find ourselves unable to gather in person as we continue to do our part to help stop the spread of COVID. So instead, we invited everyone to send us photos of yourself or your family eating the bread that nourishes or sustains you, or images of the bread that represent your family's origins or ethnicities. We are going to enjoy a communion of those images now, as you can break bread in your home later today or later this week. And we invite you to call to mind this multi-bread communion story and what it has to teach and remind us about setting a table and making space for all.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and by this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and by this we live.
Well, hello, everyone. It's so good to see everyone today. I loved that last video. Thanks to Annalie for Durland-Jones for putting together those images of people passing bread. So Reverend Leia and I, Reverend Linda, thought instead of preaching a sermon today, we would offer you some of our thoughts, sort of in a dialogue. For me, Thanksgiving always used to be a holiday that people thought Americans invented. You know, it did become a national holiday in this country about 150 years ago, but long before the US existed, many other people in other lands around the world would have holidays for giving thanks, usually after the harvest was collected and before the weather turned cold. It was a religious and community celebration. It was an important time to mark the seasons and to remember to speak aloud our gratitude. When I was a child growing up in Nebraska, I remember the story I was told about Thanksgiving was only about the US holiday. It was all about pilgrims and Indians at Plymouth, Massachusetts. The way my family celebrated was to eat a lot of food that I was told pilgrims and Indians ate: turkey, cranberry sauce, sweet potatoes, pumpkin pie.
Yes, and growing up myself in Texas, I remember hearing a very similar story to what you heard, Linda. And I remember making special Thanksgiving decorations for our home, like tracing the shape of my hand so that it was a turkey and putting that up on the window. And I also loved eating pumpkin pie. And one of my family's special traditions is cranberry pie, which actually takes you have to get used to that, but it's pretty yummy.
Well, they do have cranberry bogs in Massachusetts, so that fits. Did you know that Unitarian Universalists have a real direct connection to the Pilgrim story? Many Unitarian and Unitarian Universalist congregations in New England trace their lineage directly back to those early settlers. You know, that used to make me feel very proud. But then the more I learned, the less happy I was, because many of those same congregations had a role in pushing the Native or Indigenous people off their lands and homes in Massachusetts, causing many of them to die.
This is a sad and a difficult truth. There was much death and destruction caused by the early colonists. Today, our Unitarian Universalist leaders and ministers are reminding us that as a religious tradition, we cannot imagine who we can be or will be without reckoning with the truth of who some of our ancestors were. UUA President Susan Frederick Gray wrote us a letter, and she said, "This year, let us be mindful that many hearts in the Indigenous communities of New England and across Turtle Island ache on Thanksgiving Day every year." In Plymouth, Massachusetts, Indigenous people observe the holiday as a day of mourning. This year will mark the 50th anniversary of this day of mourning tradition and the 400th anniversary of the landings of the Pilgrims in Plymouth.
It's sad that so much of our history, the history of our religion, Unitarian Universalism, and the history of the United States, so much of our history includes the truth that the people we call Indians were forced to leave their homelands. They were killed, and they've been forgotten. And even today, they're not treated fairly. Because we know this, in order to really give thanks on Thanksgiving Day, I want to be able to include the idea of making things better. I want to give thanks and I want to acknowledge painful truths so that I can help begin to heal the old wounds, the old hurts.
Yes, I think a lot of us feel that way. A lot of us want to do that. This is truly what we are called to do as people who believe in honoring the worth and dignity of all. It's part of living our Unitarian Universalist faith out loud. Many people through the ages have worked to make things better and to try and heal the divisions between people. You know, the other day, my wife Karen and I were talking about the healing that needs to happen in our country right now, and also the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday and just how complex this all is. Karen pointed out that a person in our country's past had a vision, or really a dream, of healing divisions in our nation a long time ago, and that person was Abraham Lincoln. Did you know that in 1863, he proclaimed that Thanksgiving Day should be a national holiday? This was right after the Civil War, and it was almost 250 years after the European settlers came to the shores of our continent. Why do you think Lincoln wanted to have people come together and celebrate a holiday of Thanksgiving, particularly at that time? Well, it was because he knew that the war was causing a lot of strife and unhappiness between people, and he wanted to bring all people together. He wanted them to come around a common table to celebrate and to give thanks for what they could be thankful for. He wanted to call people to their better selves and to inspire healing. Thanksgiving had been a festival that different people celebrated at different times around the country. But by choosing one day and making it a national holiday, Lincoln hoped it could bring some healing to a divided country. He wanted it to be a day for thanksgiving and praise. Americans were waging war against each other, and he observed that we were not at war with other nations. And in 1863, there had been some battles won by the Union Army that gave the hope that the war would end soon. Lincoln gave thanks that the nation could endure and be a nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Today, we affirm this belief, and we affirm that all people are created equal. For Lincoln, Thanksgiving was about common bounty and shared bonds. For these gifts of bounty and connection, Lincoln declared Americans should give thanks. And Lincoln suggested that Thanksgiving would be an occasion not just to celebrate bounty, but to grieve loss. He asked all Americans to remember and care about all the people who had been hurt by the war and who were sad. He said that besides giving thanks, we should use this time to also hope for the healing of wounds, of all wounds.
Leah, that is such a great story, and it helps me feel better about Thanksgiving. This year, I won't be able to have a lot of my family together like we usually do. We don't want to risk spreading the COVID virus to each other. And this year, a lot of us are feeling troubled because so many people are sad. There have been a lot of people that have gotten sick. and people who have died from the virus. And we know there's a lot of people that are unhappy about other things going on right now. So this year, it'll really help me remember about Lincoln's reasons for giving thanks, for making a national holiday of Thanksgiving. It's a way for him to lift up how important it is to give thanks, and it helps me remember all of us can give thanks, even while we offer our compassion and concern for the way Indigenous people have been hurt and the way so many people are suffering. I give thanks for all I have, and most of all, I give thanks for caring people around me, people like you, Leia, and people in this congregation and my own family, and so many people in our community who are willing to tell the truth and then encourage us to work together for a better world. There is a lot to be thankful for.
There is a lot to be thankful for. And being together in community is one of the greatest blessings that there is, even if our togetherness is via Zoom. And it is a gift to share our unity and our diversity, to recognize and affirm our differences, different breads, different family stories, different ways of celebrating, and the different ways that we help people. I am thankful for all of this sharing. May we all give thanks for the bounty and the blessing in all of our lives. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
I offer now our words of benediction. For the gifts of community and being together this morning, may our hearts be full of gratitude. May the stories and songs and words and images we share today be a healing balm for our souls. In the coming days, may we remember. May we remember that we are part of something good that is larger than ourselves. May we remember that we can do hard things. May we remember that we are part of a community of care and concern, working to heal the world, and that we are held by a love that never, never lets go. Go forth from this time with peace and with love. Amen and blessed be.